Jerry, how you doing today, man? I missed you.
I'm doing good. I'm actually texting ex enemy of the show, current friend of the show, Gordon, right now about Dragon's Dogma 2. Um,
hmm
it's supposed
Is
to be
that
really
a show or a game?
it's a game.
Okay, because
It's
you know they got
supposed
Dragon's Dogma on Netflix too.
yes, I do know that. Yes.
hmm
hmm but I'm texting him about that because I'm seeing it a lot online. Um,
hmm
and it's looks really fun. And because I just finished Final Fantasy VII, um, I am looking to get into another game or probably catch up on all this TV I gotta watch. But yeah, I just finished Final Fantasy VII 2-B. And
hmm
it was really fun. Like the ending wasn't as complicated as IGN made it to be, really. So I don't
I
know
still haven't
why.
finished the first one, so I don't know. I couldn't say.
Do you like finish any games that aren't retro?
I do. I do finish games. Yeah. Yes, I do.
What's the last game that you actually finished? Oh, okay, you're playing Star Wars. Did you finish that?
I ain't finished it yet. No, 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 no.
Oh,
I can't. Can I remember the last game I finished?
wow.
The last game I like finished like 100. Well, not maybe not 100%. Oh, God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
You
Okay.
thought it was
Have
gonna be
you?
an old ass game.
I did. I was thinking you were about to say Mass Effect.
I didn't even finish Mass Effect. I just gave that back to you.
That's very crazy. Did you play the DLC?
Mm-mm. You got the
Wow.
game back, so how am I play the DLC?
For God of War.
Oh nah. What kind of DLC was it?
It was free first. They released it, I think, on Christmas, around Christmas. It's a
Was that like the new game plus stuff?
no, no.
Okay.
But I think New Game Plus was a part of the update, but the DLC is like Valhalla and you're in Valhalla and it's really fun. I enjoyed it. And it's only like 4 hours long to completely finish it. It's really fun. It's a bunch of boss battles. So yeah.
Mm. Okay, I might check it out then.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, might be looking for a new game right now to play. So Dragon's Dogma 2 is high up on my list to get. I still also want
You
to
played the
play.
first one?
Yeah, there is a first one, but they say that you don't need to play it. Um, because like
I said,
Dragon's
did
Dogma
you
is
play the first one?
no, I haven't. I haven't. Gordon
Okay.
has. That's why I was texting him about it. But they said it's like an anthology like Final Fantasy. So you don't
Mhm.
have to play like the previous version. So yeah.
Okay.
Um but yeah, another good thing that happened this week was X-Men 97. Did you see it?
Ooh, I did. I did. Cyclops is going ham, and they did your girl Storm dirty.
Well, not really. Not really. I mean, all that stuff happened in the original comic book, just
I mean,
differently.
yes, yes, but let's pretend that this is our first time seeing it.
It's not. It's not my first time knowing this story.
Let's pretend, for the sake of our guests and listeners,
No, because
we're
I guess we
seeing
need
it
to
for the
know
first
that
time.
this is not entirely a new original story. The way it's
You,
presented in X-Men 97 is a new story because they interweave stories together. Like there are a lot of differences within the X-Men 97 and the original X-Men comic book. But
mhm,
um uh so like over time, like I know what's gonna happen when new characters introduced, new plots are introduced, but the
mhm,
way that they do them are different than in the original comic book. Like in the original comic book, Magneto was watching over the New Mutants. which was Magic,
Mm-hmm.
Ileana. Well, Magic is Ileana. Magic,
Mm-hmm.
Cypher,
Mm-hmm.
Rain, Cannonball, all them. While the original X-Men, Cyclops,
Go Boss?
Jean,
No, Go Boss
no,
is a newer mutant.
a newer. But um Cyclops, Jean, Iceman, Beast, and Angel were making the first integration of X-Force, which was ran by the government under the supervision of Dr. Valerie Cooper, who we saw in X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
different plot points, I mean different um characters and settings, same plot points as the original. So
Gotcha.
yeah, what they did with Storm, it was horrible what they did. I'll just let you know that in the original story, uh, the person who shot her was not the executioner, like in X-Men 97, but it was Forge.
Mm.
Yeah, our friend. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Forge was going through it, man. I really like ever since the original X-Men, Forge has been one of them tragic characters that just can't catch a break.
Yeah, yeah. Forge has been through a lot, but yeah, I
That's,
mean, I
that's
mean,
Wolverine, best friend right there.
Wolverine.
Wolverine isn't Forge Wolverine's best friend?
I would say that Nightcrawler is more of a best friend than Forge.
Well, we ain't seen Nightcrawler yet.
Okay, so you mean in the TV show?
Yeah.
I think that Forge was the best friend of Wolverine in that TV show.
Yeah. And I think in this part of the comic book story. Because that's why Wolverine went ham. Well, not went ham, but like was always like this team fucking sucks because they left Forge to die.
No,
No, you
no,
don't think so?
no. I don't think that they left Forge to die anywhere. But I think that Wolverine and Nightcrawler have more of an emotional connection.
That's
Um,
because Nightcrawler is Wolverine's conscience.
yeah, yeah. They have really interesting talks.
And he be
But yes,
trying to
so
save him. He be like Wolverine, yo, Nightcrawler is basically Wolverine's priest. He be doing confessions.
all the stuff that Wolverine got to confess to, Nightcrawler don't have the range. But what did you think about X-Men 97?
Oh, it's good, flat out. Period. Full stop. It is good. I don't think I'm a fan of the art yet, though. Like
Yeah.
the art has to grow on me because they have like the really thick outlines. Like it was one scene I'm looking at Cyclops' hair while he falling, and every like it's not like strands, it's like clumps of hair, but each clump has an outline. You know the way they do white folks' hair in
Hmm.
cartoons.
Hmm.
And I was like, I don't know if I like this, but it's
Yeah.
good. The writing is pretty decent. The voices are also like something I got to get used to. Like some of the voices are dope. I think Storm's voice is like throwing me off a little bit
It's the
because
same
it's like
voice.
I know, but it doesn't sound the same, which is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, the animation was something that I kind of squinted my eyes at during the trailers when the trailers were released. I was like, hmm, they didn't
Yeah.
really it just seems very cheap, the animation. Like they cut corners
Mm.
there a lot. Um,
Yeah.
because even when I was watching the old Avatar that was released and it was like letterboxed in, like it didn't fill the screen. That animation seemed very, very much better than the X-Men
Mhm.
97 animation. But
Mm.
yeah, it's gonna grow on me too, but I'm really in there for the story, seeing how this story is gonna pan out, really.
Mhm. 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 Okay. Okay. What else been going on? What's been going on in life? How's the job search going, man?
The job search is going well. I still have like 3 or 4 interviews. I have an interview today, actually. Um, I have like a third interview, a fourth interview this week. So who knows,
So
really?
you have an interview today, Sunday.
Yeah, it's from an Australian company.
Oh, so they're
Mm,
gonna have you working on Sundays or what?
I guess.
That sounds gross.
But then I don't have to work Fridays.
So how's that gonna affect our recording? You know what? I'll save that until.
No, well, I don't know. I don't know when I'll work. I haven't got the job yet. This is my first interview with them, so
So you'll be an international employee,
yeah, I
a
guess.
remote employee for them?
Yeah.
Okay. We be
Um,
doing that at my company. We have like folks in like Latin America that be working for us. We just hired like a researcher out there. She's pretty cool.
hmm.
Yeah.
um, but how are you, DeMarcus?
I'm doing well, man. Today's pretty good. It's been it's been a pretty okay week. I feel like for a lot of the week I was like wrestling with like my sinuses and like trying to get enough rest to like bounce back for real. And I feel like this weekend I finally like had the time to do that. So I'm feeling a lot better today. Still a little stopped up though, but like as you can see, my voice sounds better. Um, let's see what else. I went and saw the Dune movie, Dune Part Two.
How was that?
Um, it was pretty good. It was what I expected. It was as good as the Part One,
Oh, so
maybe
how was
even a
part
little
one?
better. Huh?
How was part one?
Oh, I would give it a maybe a 7 out of 10.
Yikes. They
Yeah,
said that
like
Zendaya's only in it for like 10 seconds.
she's in it for more than that, but she's not as pivotal a character in part two as she was in part one. I mean, she does have some pretty important roles to play, like some important there's some important plot points that she's a part of, but she's not like the star of the show like she was in the first one.
So she was in the movie for longer than 10 seconds in the first one?
Yeah, you haven't seen the Doom movie? I think. Well, you can wait till it come out on TV. Bless you.
Thank you.
You can wait till it come out on TV. It's not a must see in theaters.
I mean, Dune 1 has been out on streaming for a while, but
It has.
I have no motivation to go
Yeah.
click watch.
And like I overheard a lot of conversations, um, like after the movie, like when I was walking out, people were going to the bathroom and stuff. I overheard a lot of conversations, people like explaining the movie, and it kind of made me want to read the book. So, but I
Okay.
hate to read and I hate to read long shit.
Well,
So,
just watch a YouTube video on it.
nah, I want to read the book for my own opinion. It might take me the rest of my life, but I'm gonna read it.
DeMarcus, that's really ridiculous. Do you read
What?
like just a page? Because you do that with comics too. You read a page and then you put it down for 2 weeks.
Well, with comics, I mean, well, I'm gonna put it this way: my in when I was reading the most, I was working at CarMax because I had a job where it's like I just had to sit there and wait for calls to come in, and I would fill that time by reading. And then another time in my life where I read a whole lot is like when I was living in Seattle or when I first moved here and I was catching public transit all the time. I would just read while I was on the bus or the train or whatever. Now that I drive a lot, I don't have as much reading time. I have not made space for reading in my life now. So I think I'm it's warming up. I'm gonna start taking my bike to work again, so that'll give me time to read on the train on the way to work. And I think I might carve out like 30 minutes
An hour.
30 minutes on the weekend
Wow.
to like read stuff.
Wow.
Like if I wake up early on Saturday morning, the first thing I do is like, maybe I'll make some breakfast and I read for a quick minute or something.
Wow. Well, it takes you
Mm-hmm.
like 4 minutes to scarf down a full course meal that would feed a herd of lumberjacks.
You
So
saw how
like,
hard it was for you to get that out? That's how you know it's bullshit.
no, it's
You
hard for
don't you
me
don't need
because
that.
I can't imagine eating that much.
Anyway, well, Jared, maybe you should, because you too skinny, my boy.
I'm
You
really
way
not.
too skinny. Like you remember that scene in the Little
Here we
Mermaid where
go.
Sebastian's like playing the xylophone on that dead animal and he playing it on his rib, the
He wasn't dead.
I could do that on your body. I could do that on
Wow.
your ribs.
I'm
Give
I'm really
me
not that
give me
skinny.
some mallets. Give me some mallets, and we finna go under the sea.
Yeah, I'm about to get Ozempic to lose some of this weight.
Oh my God, Jerry, you gonna die from malnourishment, and I'm gonna be sad. Is that what you want?
I mean, living this life isn't that great. I'm trying to move on to the next.
Make it better. Eat food.
I mean, I ate yesterday.
Anyway, let's get started. Let's get started.
All right.
Um, my name is D Marcus, and the D is for diet because Jared doesn't need to be on one. Um, and I'm joined here by my slowly fading away
I'm
co-host.
not that skinny. My name is Jared, and the D actually needs to stand for the dissolution of Smaug because that's what we're talking about today. This horrible, horrible movie franchise, but we will come back and talk to you more about this topic on Black Geek Energy.
BGEN.
BGE commercial? It's Jared here, and before we go more in depth with our geeky discussions, I want to talk to you about something important. Life's an epic quest, full of twists and turns. But guess what? We got a partner for you in this adventure, BetterHelp. You heard it right. BetterHelp.com will connect you with a licensed therapist who gets it. Whether you're battling real life feelings or just need someone to chat with, BetterHelp is your quest guide. So, fellow geeks, go to betterhelp.com/BGEpod. As a listener, you get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/BGEpod. Because leveling up your mental health is just as important as saving the universe. BetterHelp, because even heroes need support.
All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. All our lovely listeners out there. Today, as Jared alluded to, we are talking about The Hobbit. That's right. We're taking a trip to Middle Earth. We're going to talk about our favorite little people and how Bilbo took this unexpected journey. So we know The Hobbit is written by Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien. And I think it's weird that a lot of these like fantasy writers have like the double middle initial. Because what's the Game of Thrones writer name?
What's his name? Let me think.
I feel like his is RR something too.
Yeah, George R.R. Martin.
Why is it R for everybody? What is that like a secret society of fantasy writers? Like in order for your book to be successful, you got to put R. They change your name.
I have no
Anyway,
idea. It might just be a white people thing.
could be.
Yeah.
Oh, these might be aliases. Who knows? I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's not what it says here. But yeah. So originally published in like 1937. Fun fact. The Hobbit is about Bilbo Baggins and our favorite gray wizard turned white wizard, Gandalf, who tricks him into like going on this journey with this band of dwarves to recover their gold from the Lonely Mountain and the Dragon Smaug. Um, Jared, you recently watched all three of these movies, and I want to get your because I've seen it and I enjoy I've seen them all a couple of times, and I enjoy The Hobbit. Give us your overview and opinion of this story. What is
Okay.
it about, and is it any good?
2 words. Hated it. Definitely hated it. Wish I didn't have to waste my time on these 2 hour and 30-minute movies that I had to
Wait,
watch
2 hours and
for.
30 minutes. Did you watch the extended versions?
No, those are the versions on Max.
I think the extended versions are on Max too.
Okay. I don't know. But I
Okay.
watched the versions on Max. Look, it was horrible. It was all these white people going around doing white people things. Like the first scene in the first movie was all
I don't
these
think you
white
can
people.
conflate white with these fantasy
Yes, you
races.
can. Yes, you can.
I
Because
don't I don't
the first scene in the first movie was all these white people coming into these other white person's house. They didn't have an invitation. They weren't even known to come. No call ahead, no smoke signal. They just came in, barged in, and started going through his refrigerator. I was turned off there. I was turned off right then
Yeah.
and there.
They was
Because
all in it, man. Shit.
exactly. Exactly. I was like, oh no, what does Marcus has me watching? And like I've seen this before when I was younger, but like now through my eyes now, I'm like, what is going on here? That is a blasphemy. You could never come inside my house and I don't even know you're coming, have no inclination of your arrival.
But it
And
was it
then
was it was
and
Gandalf
I don't care
who
if it
like
was
put the
the
little symbol
Pope.
on
I
his
don't care if
door.
it was Jesus himself. You let me know before you
You
go through
wouldn't
my
care if your Lord and
refrigerator.
Savior came and said, "Hey, these people are gonna be your friends. This is your band of merry men."
Okay, but he didn't say that. He did not say that.
Didn't he
They
give him
just
some kind of?
showed
It's been a while
up.
since I watched them, and I know you just rewatched it. It's been a while since I watched them. But didn't he say like I want you to go on this journey, and then Bilbo was like, no, and Gandalf was just like, you going?
I mean, yeah, that happened. And then
Mm,
Gandalf secretly put a little thing on his door where
hmm
like they would know to go there. And then they just showed up. He didn't know they was coming. He didn't know nothing. So I was turned off right there. The whole rest of that movie was a mess. It was a mess. And like the
So
only good thing it would have been Gandalf, but all he is doing is casting light spells. He didn't do no projectiles, no
that's
fireball, no lightning bolt, no nothing. He just cast light spells the whole rest of that
that's
three.
one thing. That is one thing I've always been disappointed in like the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit sort of like mythos franchise. Like the magic is not doing it. Like it's like in both of them, no matter what you watch, it's like they barely casting magic. Like it's most of it is light
Exactly.
spells, most what I'm saying, or like some sort of like magic adjacent like
Exactly.
prophecy type thing. I'm like, man, I want to see like some magicians like throwing fireballs and changing the world type shit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This was the worst assignment for BGE that I've ever been on. I can't believe I
Mm.
don't even know. Demarcus, why would you pick this?
You chose this. You
I
chose this.
did not
First of
choose
all,
it. No, this is
you
okay.
chose
Okay,
this episode.
so now we have to break the fourth wall. I did not choose this. I would never have chosen this for Black Geek Energy. Y'all, you or Lorante had this on our sheet from last season that I just came over
Oh, it was
onto
probably
this
Lorante then.
season.
It was probably Lorante.
Well,
Let's
it
blame him.
was
Let's blame
probably
him because he's not
something.
here to defend himself.
It was
Um,
probably something because I
but
didn't choose this.
I think this is a good chance for us to give our black perspective on this Hobbit movie because
Mhm.
and you already started off like them folks just came in and just started going to that man refrigerator. It's like, hey, y'all ain't wash your hands or nothing.
Nothing.
But that's
They just
not. I
came
wouldn't
out of
say
the
that's what the whole
mud.
movie is about. I wouldn't say that's what the whole movie is about. I would say this is
The whole movie is about them going through people's stuff and not washing their hands and then being
oh, it's
in there.
about it's like a it's a redemption story. It's about Thorin Oakenshield like redeeming himself and getting back his family's land. It's about Bilbo growing. You know what I'm saying? He had been like this shut in for all this time, and now he's finally like spreading his wings and starting to explore the world, getting some life experience, becoming a more well-rounded person going through trials and adversity to come out the other side is better. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it's. I think that's those are some of the like overarching themes.
No,
Um,
the theme is going through people's stuff. Bilbo went through Gollum's stuff and stole his ring. Then he went through the dragon stuff and stole stuff from him.
oh,
Then the
this
dwarves went
is
through, after they were in jail, they went through the elf stuff to get in those barrels to go down the river. They just be going in people's stuff, messing up folks' homes, and then terrorizing these people. This is a horrible movie. They messed up the spider stuff when they were caught by the spiders, and then they were
Mm-hmm.
all up in their stuff. They messed up the troll stuff when they were about to get eaten by the trolls when they were
Wait,
not
wait, wait,
supposed
wait,
to
wait.
be
You
there.
can't blame them for messing up the troll shit. If you about to eat me, I think that gives me carte blanche to defend myself in as many ways as possible.
But they could have left the trolls alone. The trolls weren't bothering them. First of all, the trolls were not bothering them. They could have walked around the trolls.
Mm.
Okay, they could have
Mm.
walked around the trolls.
I think the trolls found them, but okay. Because the trolls stole one of their
No,
horses. It
no.
was the
Okay,
trolls' fault
okay.
first.
The trolls stole their horses. The trolls were about to eat their horses. The dwarves need to say, okay, these are trolls and we're dwarves. We have to go. So like the trolls, those are the trolls' horses now, because ain't no way they could be trolls. Ain't no
So just
way.
because you're stronger than me, you get to take my shit. Is that what I'm hearing, Jared?
I mean, not only are you stronger than me, but me and my crew cannot beat you up, and you are hungry and will eat me. There are things that you have to do to survive in a fantasy world that they were not doing when they were going into people's houses, messing stuff up.
Mm. I mean, I hear you. I hear you. But you touched on a lot of stuff in the first movie. So like in the first movie, we meet Bilbo. Um, and this is happening on Bilbo's 111th birthday because hobbits live for an extremely long time or something like that. But the story takes place like 60 years before the Lord of the Rings stories. Um, but so the whole premise is like the an old dwarf king had an era of prosperity and everything for his people. Like they was collecting gold, like I don't know, like the tax man collect taxes, I guess. I don't know. Like you can put your own analogy for that. But they had it, bruh. They had a mountain of gold. And it attracted the attention of a dragon, uh, aka or BKA Smile. Smile
Again,
comes in.
again, somebody else in this story coming in uninvited to mess with other people's stuff. So this time he came in uninvited to the dwarf kingdom and took all their gold.
Well, dragons are inherently greedy and like instinctively and voraciously greedy. So if you hoard a mountain of gold, that's just a big ass invitation to a dragon. At least if you look at it, at least the dragon in Lord of the Rings. Um,
I mean, dragons are inherently greedy, but like he just went in there while they were still in there. Like he didn't try to kill nobody until like after they were gone, and he like
no, what are you talking? Small came in eating dwarves, bro, and breathing fire through the castle.
okay, but that it
Small came
wasn't a
in wrecking
total
shop. He
destruction
didn't
of
come
the
in just like,
town.
hey y'all.
It
He
wasn't
didn't
not
come
a
in like,
total.
hey y'all, I see y'all got this mountain of gold, and I want it. Y'all mind just passing it over? It's like, no, he came in there killing folks,
I mean, it wasn't a total
and he ain't do
destruction
nothing
of the
to the
town
town
like
because the town ain't
at
had
the
nothing
end
he
of the
wanted.
second movie. It wasn't a total
I
destruction of the
don't,
town
I
like after the
don't,
second movie.
I don't. No, no, Jared, I'm not letting you have that. Anyway,
No, no, it wasn't
as we
total
said,
destruction of the
Bilbo is tricked
town.
into hosting a dinner for Thorin and his company of dwarves. I would read their names, but I don't want to. I'll read some of them. Balin, Dwalin, Philly, Killy, Dory, Nori, and the list goes on. And they all kind of like got rhyming names like that. Like Owen, Glowin, Bilfer, Bofer. Like I'm
Like the laziest
I'm
names. The
and I'm
laziest
wondering if they're
names.
like, I'm sure they're all like kind of related in some kind of ways, like, oh, my second cousin, fifth auntie, twice removed, or some shit like that. But like, these names are not creative. But at the same time, maybe it's just like family names. Like, you can tell which dwarven family they're from by which names they rhyme with, right?
I don't know. But I do know that J.R.R.
Okay.
Tolkien did not think about these names. He said, Bumpkin Humpkin, Dumpkin Lumpkin. That's all he was that's what he was like.
Lazy Azy.
Exactly, exactly.
Oh man. But so getting off Twix tricks Bilbo now hosting this dinner, and they, like Jared said, they come in just like going through this man's fridge, like, oh, we the first ones here. Oh, where's the cheese? Where's the wine?
Yeah.
You ain't got no more meat.
And
And
dwarves
just
are
like clean this
hungry.
man out, and they making a fucking mess, and they like tossing shit, moving his furniture around to make room for everybody. But the one thing that I love from the first movie is the Lonely Mountains, the song "The Misty Mountain." Um, so it's like far over the misty mountains go. You remember that song, Jared?
I do. I do. I was
But
just thinking about they have this song in here slowing
Mhm.
everything down. Like what is this song in here for? They don't have to adapt everything from
That's
the
the
book.
That's the song. I feel like that song is like the prophecy because it's talking about like over the misty mountains. That's where they're gonna find their gold. The dwarves are gonna find their gold. So I feel like it's like they're like passed down like lineage. Like this is who we are. This is why we're not in our home. Sort of like how slaves used to sing the more
Don't do that.
slave song.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there.
The
You comparing them to
Negro
slavery.
spiritual. This is a
Don't do
dwarven spiritual,
no,
Jared.
no, don't compare anything to slavery. Because first of all, for the context of this movie, the song was not needed. It just slowed everything down. It made me more
I think no,
sleepy.
I
I
think the song was
had
definitely
to
needed. The song was like it's an anchor point in
nah
this movie. That's like one thing that stuck out in my mind, and I wish that movie
because it was
carried
so
through all.
boring.
I wish that song carried through all the other movies, but it didn't. But one thing
Because
they did
they
is like
knew
they
it was
getting the
boring.
whole time they're trying to find the whole time they're trying to get back to Thorin's like birth home, the Misty Mountains, the Lonely Mountain.
Mhm.
Um, is that they're being like chased by some fucking goblins or orcs, orcs. I think so. They're being chased by these orcs. Um, yeah, I think the main one is like called Azog or something like that. Yeah, because
So
Azog killed Thorin's father, and like when they first had, I imagine when they first had to leave their home or something like that. I'm not sure the whole story behind that. I'm not trying to read this book, but yeah, apparently like they got like wargs like which are like big ass wolves that they be riding, and they are like on these dwarves asses. And once they find out like Thorin is like leading the party, they like oh it's on site. And so the first movie ends and they see the Lonely Mountain in the distance. And the Lonely Mountain is where the Dwarven Castle is, where the Dwarven Gold is, where Smaug is. And Smaug wakes up, and that's where you leave off the first movie. How did you feel after the first movie?
I felt like there's two more of these. Really, there's three
Mhm.
more. I just couldn't do it. I didn't make it through going all the way back to the cartoon version of this movie because I was like, it's just too much Hobbit, too many white people on my screen. Like I feel like I had to watch like a ton of black people to offset the white people in this movie. I'm so glad that Barrett was black in Final Fantasy VII, but at the end of this first movie, I was like, okay, this thing with that main orc with the hook hand and the prince who became like a blacksmith because like nobody cared about his
Mm.
old kingdom. Like that thing was like that was just some rivalry that didn't even make sense to me.
It
That
does feel
or
like a lot of stuff is thrown into this movie. Like, sort of, I mean, I feel like this is sort of like the opposite of what Harry Potter does with its books, with this book to movie transformation, where Harry Potter like throws out everything and it's like so much stuff that you'll never even pick up on watching the movies.
Mhm.
Uh, it, this one just like throws in everything, but doesn't resolve any of these threads for real. Just like here's a bit of this and here's a bit of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that it didn't make sense to me because if you have such a big hard on for this guy, either guy, why
Mhm.
wouldn't you go kill them? Like they're still there. They're still alive. You still know. Well, I don't think that the orc knew that the other guy was alive. The dwarf prince was alive, but the prince knew that the orc was still alive. Like he's had such a huge hard on for him, and he's doing this thing to like he'd rather go fight against a dragon than his rival. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And then for you to keep losing for
I
him
mean,
for two movies, like you need to give it up. Maybe that's why you didn't go after him because you're a loser. You keep losing to him
I
like
think
Korra for
I
two
think I
movies.
think Thorin. One thing that we see in Thorin's character is that he understands his role as the future king of the dwarves, and that his job, no matter how he feels about whether like about him wanting revenge for his father or whatever that is, he knows that his ultimate responsibility is to his people and returning them to their home. And the whole thing that sparks that is like, oh, he's like, ain't nobody seen or heard from the dragon in years. Like now's the time to go back. And I'm like, I wouldn't personally, I would not make that assumption. I would not be like, oh, they haven't seen the dragon in a long time. It's not there anymore. I'm like, no, that man there and he's asleep. And let's leave him alone to sleep. I'm like it's gonna have to be my great 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 grandkids that get this gold back because it's not happening in my lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do have an activity for you.
Oh God. Is it Hobbit
A
related?
bit
Because
of it's of course it's Hobbit related.
jeez.
um, bet. So, Jared, we're gonna play a little bit of trivia, and if you don't remember how that game goes, I will explain it.
Well, I'm gonna lose because I
You
know
just watched all these
I know
movies.
I did. I don't remember the names. I don't remember the location. I just remember that he should have been eaten a long time ago. Both, all of
Anyway,
them.
anyway. So the way trivia works is Demarcus asks the questions and I judge the answers. Each answer is worth 1 point. You're not playing against anybody, so I will say you need 8 points to win the game. Okay. Don't
And are
sound
these
so
multiple
defeated.
choice?
I'll allow some hints. I'll allow some
Mhm.
hints. Okay, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Bring it on.
All right. In The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, um, what is the name of the group of 13 dwarves led by Thorin Oakenshield on their perilous quest to reclaim Erebor, the Lonely Mountain, from the clutches of the dragon Smaug?
um, they were called the Unwanteds because nobody wanted them there in the first place. Okay.
Okay, Jared. So if you're not gonna take this game seriously, I don't know why we're playing. Like you, that
I
was a
told you
gimme.
I don't I don't
That was
remember.
a give me, and you just threw it away. All
I
right,
know I
let's
don't
go on this question two. Let's go on this question two.
wait, what's the answer?
It's the company of Thorin Oakenshield.
Yeah, okay. Why would they be
They
called
explained
that?
it.
He was such a
There's a whole
lazy
montage.
person. He was
There's
so
a
lazy.
whole montage about how he gets the name Oakenshield.
Getting the name Ogre was one thing, but to call the company of the party, the company of doing Ogre, how lazy is that? How lazy is that? You come
I
up with
don't think
names for every
I
knife,
don't think it's
dagger in this story, but the main company that you see through that sees you do the whole book has a name, the company of Thorn Oakenshield. How lazy is that? J.R. Tolkien is a
I
horrible
think
writer. I said it
Jared,
earlier.
if you will calm your tits for just a second. Put that sports bra on, please. I think that is a trait of dwarves in that they don't put a lot of thought into like names like that, which is why you have Bumpy, Lumpy, Crumpy, and Stumpy. So
Oh
when
my
it's
God.
time to name something, they're not. Oh, I'm gonna call this, you know, sling slashing thing, the ninth dagger of something or what. No, they was like, this is the slashing dagger. Period.
Sure.
Question two. This also happened in The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. Um,
Okay.
Bilbo stumbles upon this seemingly insignificant item as when he encounters the creature Gollum in the windy caverns of the Misty Mountain. This item holds immeasurable power and significance in shaping the destiny of Middle Earth. What is this item?
The ring, the one ring.
That is it. That's correct, Jerry. You got 1 point. You on the board.
Yeah, well, I think that that's a lazy thing too, because the one like all it does is make you become invisible. It makes you understand what spiders say.
But it also gives you control of the other rings, which do different things. I think I've
Mm,
always felt this way too. I'm like this one ring. I'm like for this thing to be such like an incredibly powerful item for everybody to want this thing. It don't really do nothing.
yeah, well,
Like it turns you invisible, and these things chase you when you use
yeah,
it. it's not. It's not a great. It's not a great equip.
but the
I
magic in
wouldn't.
this
I would
stuff
not put it on
is
my D&D character.
yeah, but the magic in this stuff is horrible anyway. So
I mean, but it's a deep story. It's the lore. Question number
mm,
three. Deep within the dark and treacherous Mirkwood Forest in The Hobbit: The Desolation of Smaug, this is the second movie,
mhm.
Bilbo Baggins faces a harrowing ordeal as he escorts a horde of malevolent creatures. Among them are I don't know if I'm playing it apart. Say it apart. What are these creatures that threaten to ensnare our hero and devour him alive?
Was it the spiders?
Yes, that is correct. It was the giant spiders. I will say I use ChatGPT to make these questions, and it's giving the answers in the question, and I'm like, I don't like that. So I'm having to
Edit as you go. But
edit
the
as I go.
but the only good parts of this movie were when they're about to die. Were when they're about to die. That was the only good parts of this
I think
whole
those are the most
trilogy.
exciting parts, sure.
No, because you want them
Just
to
for the
die.
fact that like
You
okay,
you
question
want
number
them to
four.
die. Like it wasn't exciting, like, oh, I'm on the edge of my seat. It was exciting because I was like, finally, this movie can have some good resolution. This movie can go and be good now.
Question number four, Jerry. You're not gonna waste all of my activity time with your bullshit. In the shadow of the Lonely Mountain lies a bustling human settlement crucial to the events unfolding in the Hobbit series. Ruled by a pragmatic master, where destinies collide and fates are decided amidst the looming threat of dragon fire. What is the name of this human settlement?
I have no idea. That's when I was on my phone.
You do. Yes, you do.
No, I
You know,
don't.
you know exactly what it is. We talked about it earlier.
Um,
You mentioned earlier that the dragon didn't do anything to this place.
I didn't mention the place. Is it Oakenshield land?
No, the settlement was called Lake Town, and I
Oh, I
thought that
did
was
not know that.
pretty easy because it's on a lake.
No, I did not
But
know that.
question number five.
And those people were like living on top of each other. Like that whole village was the slums. Like, how do you have
Yeah,
a whole village that
yeah.
was
This
the
question
slums?
said vibrant town. I was like, that was not vibrant. That was dreary as a mug. It was like a fishing village, so I bet everybody stank.
Yeah,
Ugh.
stank. They don't take baths then. Like, ugh.
Mm. All right.
There are still no black people there.
Amidst the
So
gathering of wise and ancient beings in the sanctum of Rivendell, one figure stands out, his keen eyes betraying a familiarity with the world beyond the boundaries of the Shire. Who is this ethereal being whose graceful presence hints at a deeper connection to the grand tapestry of Middle Earth as he silently observes the unfolding events of The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, the first movie?
Sauron.
No. Sauron hasn't been resurrected yet, but they do start seeing signs that he's about to come back. The answer was Legolas.
Okay, cool.
Jared, you're at two. You're at two, and you have how many? You have 10 questions left. You got to get 8. I believe in you, man. You got plenty of chances left here. Okay.
This movie is the worst. Okay, let's go. And there were
Okay.
3 of them. 2
And they were
hours.
all pretty good. I ain't saying these are blockbuster movies, but they pretty good. And by the way, the first movie, The Unexpected Journey, cracked billion in theaters worldwide. So
Because white people are dumb. White people are dumb.
some
And
of
they will
our
go.
listeners are white people, and I don't think they're dumb because they're already listening to our show.
Okay,
So I
and they
think
will go see this movie and make it a big hit so
I
that
will
they
go see it too. If they were to remake the Hobbit movies and make it a shorter movie, I would go see it too.
and make it a shorter movie. Like that, that's not what they're gonna do. They're not gonna shorten this movie. This movie is 1 book that they made into 3 movies that are 2 hours
All
and
right.
30
Question
minutes each.
number 6. Question number 6, Jared. As the final showdown looms in The Hobbit, the Battle of Five Armies, the last movie, the fate of Erebor, that's the Lonely Mountain, I think. Yeah, that's the Lonely Mountain, hangs in the balance. Amidst the chaos and carnage, one figure rises to the occasion, wielding both courage and cunning against the fiery terror that threatens to consume the land. Who ultimately delivers the final blow to the fearsome dragon Smaug, ending his reign of terror once and for all? I can also give you a hint if you need one.
I mean, I don't know. I do know that he had his like son or his little child that was trying
Mm-hmm.
to that had to steady the arrow, which was dumb,
Mm-hmm.
by the way. Why would you have your child steady the arrow? Like you can't hold a bow and arrow by yourself. Like
That
like
wasn't no regular bow and arrow. That was like a bow launcher, low key. Like
uh,
that, like it wasn't like no, oh, let me just use both of my hands. It's like I need a second I needed somebody to load it, and then I need somebody to like pull the crank back so I can shoot it. Like that wasn't no, don't make it seem like it was just like some handheld joint.
all right,
That joint was like a standing structure.
but he had to have his child. The arrow rests on his child's shoulder,
You didn't see, did
and
you see how big that arrow
all
was?
right, all right.
And
Well,
it was supposed to take down the dragon, and you stalling answering this question.
no, I need
Do
the
you
hint.
need a
Yeah, I do need the
hint?
hint. I need the hint.
This is the same guy who they meet, I think, in the second movie that helps them cross the uh that helps them cross the lake at first, and they have to like give them all their money. He helps them get into Lake Town, and by smuggling them in barrels of fish. Um,
Legolas.
his his I wasn't done with my
Okay.
his
All right.
name is the same as a class in D&D.
Oh. Um, Ranger.
His name is Bard the Bowman.
Oh my God.
All right. Within the shadowy depths
Like
of
that's not even
Dawn,
what he did. He wasn't even a bard. I'm sorry. Keep going.
he's a bowman. He's a bowman. That's why he shoots the arrow at the end of the movie. He's a
But
bowman.
bards
Bard
aren't
the
known
Bowman.
for their bow skills. Rangers are. You can keep going.
Question number 7. Within the shadowy depths of Dol Guldur, a sinister presence lurks, manipulating events from the shadows in the Hobbit series, disguised under the guise of a necromancer. This malevolent entity seeks to sow discord and chaos across Middle Earth. What is the true identity of this dark lord whose machinations set in motion the events that will shape the fate of all?
You know, this was one part that I wish I paid more attention to because I looked down when they were talking about the necromancer and I looked up, so I didn't get the whole conversation. I was like, I'm not rewinding this crap. And
Mm-hmm.
then I looked down again, and when I looked up, they were fighting ghosts. So I really wish I knew the answer to this, but I don't know. So I'm just gonna
I'll
say,
give you a hint before
all right.
you waste your answer. You said this person's name earlier, thinking that thinking that he was the one with the graceful presence.
Oh, so Saruman?
I know what you're trying to say, so I'll give it to you. Yes, it was Sauron.
Oh, Saruman.
And I don't, and like I said, like all these questions have the answers in the question. They said Dark Lord like 3 times in that question.
Yeah, I don't be paying attention to what you say, so.
So why am I doing this if you're not listening?
Oh,
You know,
God.
Jerry, I don't think you're gonna make it to 8. One,
I
two,
don't
three,
either. I,
four.
I told you I was gonna lose this. This is like funny to me. Let's keep going.
Okay, there are 7 questions left. When there are fewer questions than your ability to get to 8, then we'll end the game. But right now there are 7 questions left. You need 5 points. We're gonna keep going.
Okay.
Um, among the
Well, I just got a point.
stalwart
I got 3 points.
yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Among the stalwart members of Thorin's company, one stands out for his exceptional prowess with the bow and arrow, his keen eye and steady hand proving invaluable in times of peril. Who is this skilled marksman whose courage and loyalty are only matched by his skill in battle?
Bard the Bowman.
You know it's not Bart the Bowman because that was the answer to the last question, Jared.
I mean, I thought he
Do you
had
have a
more than
serious
one.
guess or do
Um,
you want to hit?
all right, give me the hint.
His twin is named Philly.
All right. Okay. So what rhymes with Philly? Philly. Is it Dilly?
Nope.
Oh man.
You had a 1 in 25 chance
Yeah.
of choosing the right letter to start with. Okay, cool.
Was it silly? What was it?
It's Killy.
Okay. Dilly and Killy.
Mm-hmm. Philly and Killy.
Billy and Killy. Well, Billy Bonana Fana. All right, last question. Maybe. This might be
Okay.
my last question.
All right, I'm gonna skip one. I'm gonna go to an easier one. Summoned from the tranquil haven of the Shire by the enigmatic wizard Gandalf, this unassuming hobbit finds himself thrust into a world of adventure and danger. What is the name of this unlikely hero whose journey from the comfort of his hobbit hole to the heart of darkness will test his courage and resilience?
Baggins.
What's the first name?
All right, so it's either Bilbo or Frodo, I
You
think.
just watched 3 movies and you don't know which one it is?
Ain't nobody care. Okay, I'm just gonna say Bilbo.
It is Bilbo Baggins. All right,
Yeah.
Jerry. All right, Jerry. All right, going back up to the one I skipped now. It's a little harder. Bestowed upon Thorin Oakenshield by the venerable wizard Gandalf, this ancient elven blade serves as a symbol of hope and redemption on the perilous journey to reclaim Erebor. That's the Lonely Mountain. What is the name of this legendary sword forged by the depths of Gondolin that gleams with the light of a bygone age? This is a hard one because I didn't even get this one. I didn't even know this one.
All right, so what's the hint?
Um, this blade kills orcs specifically. It glows when like orcs or goblins are near. I think. No, not that one. But it kills. This one is specifically famous for killing orcs.
And
So
it
what is the name of the
glows.
blade?
It
No,
glows.
not that one. It doesn't
Oh.
glow. It doesn't glow. I'm scratching that from the record. It does not glow. I ain't trying to throw you off.
Uh um is it I have no idea what this is. I'm just gonna say Oak Slayer the Blade.
Who?
Orc Slayer the Blade.
See, it's an elven blade, so they can have craftier names. It's called
Oh,
Orcrist. Orcrist.
Orcris?
Orcrist. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't think there's enough questions. Let me see. One,
No,
two,
I
three.
lost.
Actually, there is barely enough. There's just enough questions for you to get eight if you get all four of them right.
All
So
right.
if you miss one question, the game's over.
All right.
I'm gonna skip to the last question, and this is gonna do either this is gonna we're gonna keep we'll say with this last question either you win or you lose. We'll make
All
this the
right.
one.
Cool, cool, cool.
As the rolling hills of the Shire bask in the warm glow of the setting sun, the tranquil village of Hobbiton, I never knew that was the name of the village in the Shire, Hobbiton,
I mean,
comes alive with
you
merriment.
can guess it because he's not a good writer.
Well, apparently you can't.
I
Hobbiton
wasn't
comes
given that
alive with the
question.
merriment and celebration. Amidst the laughter and song, the inhabitants gather to mark a momentous occasion honoring a figure whose humble abode stands as a testament to his enduring legacy. What event is being celebrated on this joyous day?
Mm. Um, it was at the end of the movie.
Beginning of the movie. Beginning of the first movie.
Um, I want to say it was his birthday.
Whose birthday?
Bilbo?
That's right, Jared. I didn't expect you to get that one. We're gonna call it there. We're gonna give you that victory, even though you got 5 points. We'll assume you could have got the last three.
I don't want it. I do
We'll
not
assume you
want
would
it.
have because you got that one.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Well,
we're gonna take
that,
a quick break.
yes, finally.
We'll be right
The
back.
Hobbit Chronicle is over and we can move on.
All right. So a lot happened in the first movie. We're moving on to the second movie, where this one is mostly about the orcs that have been chasing the party, and I think we come to that whole conflict comes to a head in this movie. Thorin, Oakenshield are being pursued by Azog and his orc party. They are being escorted by Gandalf to the nearby home of Born, this skin changer. That's the dude that turns into a bear. Um, let's see here. What else?
Okay, and why don't we ever see him turn into a bear or turn into a
We do
human?
see him turn into a bear. Why don't you see him turn into a bear? Because you wasn't paying attention like that.
Really?
But
So that was in the
I think
movie.
they also meet the elves in this movie. But I do know like eventually they make it to Lake Town. What else happens? I feel like the second one was kind of not the second one was still good, but it was kind of a little flat
Well, they all were a
compared
little
to the
flat,
first one. Like it wasn't as many like plot points.
but they all. I mean, I think that they also meet the spiders in this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I think they Bilbo also finds the ring in this one, doesn't he?
Yeah, he found
Like
the
he meets
ring.
because they're at Misty Mountain and he meets what's the Gollum?
Yeah, yeah, he meets Gollum, and okay. I do remember him turning into a bear. No, turning into a human from a bear It was a stupid transformation. Like
Mm.
they did better transformations in 1974 with a werewolf in London. It was a shadow transformation where it wasn't even him, it was some fake CGI. It was a shadow transformation. You couldn't even see no features. You just saw the outline of him turning into a human. It wasn't a good transformation. It's just like everything about this was the laziest movie, the laziest writing. It was just a whole bunch of money spent out on nothing. Like all of this
Wow,
stuff.
Jared, you got some real strong opinions, my boy.
You made me watch this. So I'm going
I
to have
didn't
some pretty
make you
strong
do
opinions.
anything. You're a grown ass man.
Well, I wasn't gonna come in here unprepared.
So yeah, no,
Like,
actually, so he Bilbo meets Gollum in the first movie, and they have that little battle of riddles, and that's how and I think Gollum like drops the ring at some point or something, and that's how Bilbo picks it up, and Bilbo just picks it up.
I mean, he stole it, didn't he?
Hmm. I think Gollum dropped it and lost it, and Bilbo found it.
Hmm.
It's a very thin line, a very small loophole, but I think it's still a loophole.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, like I think in the second movie we can start to see the rings have an effect on Bilbo because like he like there's some times where he like does the most. Like he's getting like harried by the spiders, and he's about to get eaten, but then drops the ring. So he's like, oh shit, I gotta get that ring back, kills the spider, gets the ring.
Yeah, he brutally kills that young baby spider. And that's another thing. Like, these spiders aren't spiders, they're like sentient creatures who just want to
Mm.
eat. They knowingly, because they see other spider webs, like the theme of this movie, going to somebody's house when you're not invited, they knowingly go into this
That's
spider's
low key the
lair.
theme of this movie.
They exactly
Going to
they
somebody's house when you're not invited.
Exactly. They knowingly go into the spider's lair when they're not invited. They get caught in the spider's house. He drops the ring, finds the ring. In order for him to get it back, he has to kill a baby? Like, what is it that you got me watching?
If a
Infanticide?
baby was trying to kill me,
He
like
wasn't. He was like, what's going on? He like came out of the hole. He's like, what's going on out here? The ring just so happened to be right there by his little claw or whatever. And then
I
he
don't
just
know, bro.
murdered it.
I don't know, bro. If your giant spider brethren just tried to kill me and my friends, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, you're just a baby giant spider. Let me relax." I'm attacking first because I don't know if your venom is more powerful than theirs because you younger or whatever.
Mm.
Um, so, but other than the spiders, the other big plot point in this movie is that they make it to Lake Town. So they meet Bard the Bowman. They give him some money to like ferry them across the thing. He's like a smuggler or whatever. And we see that Lake Town is like a mess and it's being ran by, excuse me, um, the master town. What is his name? I don't know. I don't see it here. I think it was like Alfred Killigan or something like that. Is Alfred Lickspittle, I think, is the master of Lake Town.
Alfred. Alfred.
Mm-hmm.
Do people in Middle Earth have names like Alfred?
Yeah, his name is
That's
definitely
not a
Alfred,
middle. No, no, that's not a Middle Earth name. That's the name
but
of your
it's not
boyfriend in
Alfred.
London.
It's not Alfred, it's Alfred with
Oh
an
my
I
God.
and a little thingy
It
over the
doesn't
I.
make any sense. This is the laziest writing. These names are lazy.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
anyway, Jared, they make it into Lake Town, but talk to the master of Lake Town. Like, hey, if you give us, we'll give you a share in the mountain's treasure if you just give us like weapons to like fight the dragon. And Lake Town is like, hell no, nah. Like leave that fucking dragon alone. Like you ain't gonna do shit over here, boy.
Yeah, this is a part that I totally don't remember. I was looking at my
Mm,
phone, I was playing a game on my phone or something.
mm.
The movie was just on. I totally do not remember them. I remember them going down. I remember them going into the L's house, stealing the barrels, and going down the river. But I don't remember them going into Lake Town. I just looked up and the dragon was there.
Yeah. So while they're in Lake Town, they discover that Bard is the is a descendant of the last ruler of Dale, so like the last ruler of like the human kingdom or whatever. And it's supposed to be like ruling instead of like hiding out in his town. And he has like the last black arrow meant to kill dragons hidden in his house somewhere. They help, I think they help like heal his daughter or something. Like somebody is sick and the dwarves help heal them. And so Bart ends up being like, "Oh yeah, I'll help y'all get some weapons, help y'all do y'all thing." But like while they're there, the orcs show up. Let's see.
Again, with our theme of going to somebody's house and not even being invited.
Well, this time they was invited. They was invited into Lake Town, or at least they paid their way to
The
get in.
orcs?
Oh, nah, not the orcs.
Yeah.
The orcs just chasing the dwarves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but your girl Tariel and Legolas, they show up and they help out. So that's crazy to think that Legolas has lived through both of these adventures. Like he saw the beginning and the end. Because at the same time in this movie, Gandalf goes to Dol Guldur, where they saw the Necromancer in the first movie, and the Necromancer defeats Gandalf. Gandalf is a shitty wizard. He
really
loses
is.
every fight.
He
He
really
loses
is.
the fight with the Necromancer here. He loses the fight against the fire thing, the little fire demon thing.
Hmm. He really is the most
He
horrible
loses the
wizard
fight
ever.
against not Sauron. What's the other person's name? It sounds like Sauron, the head wizard.
The one who
I-
kills him in the Lord of the Rings.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, him. But yeah, he's a horrible
It's not
wizard.
his name sounds like Sauron, but I forget what it is. But yeah, the next Master reveals himself to be Sauron, and yeah, and they in Azog, the orc army starts to march toward Erebor, the Lonely Mountain. And so this is now we're starting to see the setup for the battle of like the five armies. Um but yeah, they discover like a hidden entrance to the Lonely Mountain in this movie, and they send in Bilbo since he's their burglar to um get the Arkenstone, which is like the family jewel of the dwarves.
Why did they need
But
the
yeah, while he's
Arkenstone?
in
I
there, I
didn't.
think I really remember this scene. And you'll have to tell me how you feel about it. The scene where like Bilbo first encounters Smaug, because everyone thinks he's like sleep in this, he's dead or he's left the mountain. But when Bilbo gets in there, he's like walking around and there's like these towers of gold or this mountain of gold that he's walking on, and and then we just start to see it like shift, and then Bilbo starts talking to Smaug, and they have like this like witty back and forth, and he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, I forget who he says he is, but he says something clever. But eventually, Smaug catches on. It's like because Bilbo uses the ring to disappear after he finds the stone, and Smaug is like, "Oh, since you want to play fucking games, let's go play with fucking Lake Town," and that's where the movie ends.
Yeah. Again, this was following the theme of people going into other people's houses without being invited. Um, the whole thing with Bilbo and Smog, I think that it could have been easily e- easily resoluted without Lake Town being destroyed. If Billboard would have went in there, which is somebody else's house, whether it's his or Smog's or the Dwarves, if he just told the truth about something, like he lied about the most
I don't think so.
inconsequential little things. The dragon asked him, okay, so how is Oakenshield? He said, who is Oakenshield? You dummy. Why wouldn't you just tell the truth about Oakenshield? He can smell Oakenshield on you and he knows Oakenshield is there. The jig is up. Like you're dumb. You're
There,
dumb.
I
Why
think
would you go in there and lie about Oakenshield? He knows that he's there. The only reason that you're there is because he's there. You're dumb.
yeah.
And if you would have said the truth,
Bilbo
Lake
really
Town wouldn't have been destroyed.
Bilbo was really playing Smile like he was just an idiot because he was lying about everything, and he was like because Smaug asked him like, who are you? And he's like, oh, I am the rapper and the tapper
Right.
and the basket weaver. He starts saying like bullshit. He starts rhyming. I'm
Right.
like,
Right. Because you got the ring and
fucking
he can't see
bars.
you. So you can always run away. But why are you lying about stuff that doesn't even matter? Like you sound the people on, like you sound
Hmm.
like the people on the 6 round chick letters. You sound just dumb. You sound dumb and you sound toxic. That's not even nothing to lie about. Golly, and stop going to people's houses. This movie was dumb,
Yeah.
DeMarcus.
I don't think I disagree with you. I enjoy the Hobbit movies. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna go watch them after we get done. But let's get into this last movie. So in the last movie, everything comes to a head. They eventually kill Smaug. Your boy Bard, the bowman, kills Smaug with the last black arrow meant for killing dragons, using his son to like steady the arrow, like you were saying earlier. All the humans leave Lake Town. Um, and like right when we think shit's good, all copacetic, because we done killed Smaug, the uh the orc army shows up. The and once they get inside, once they kill Smaug and get inside the castle, they seal it. The dwarves seal it up. And over time, and over like a short amount of time, you can see all of this gold starting to drive Thorin crazy. Like he just starts acting completely different. Like, and I never, that's one part I never understood. Like, why does this gold start making him go crazy? Like, is he just that greedy to where it's like gold just
So
starts making him lose his mind, or
I
like do dwarves have some kind of allergic thing with gold?
I did pay attention to this part. Gandalf told Bilbo that like gold corrupts anybody. So like, and he would get like this dragon illness because like he started talking
Mm,
like a dragon, like having
he
those
did.
long S's and hissing his words. So like, if you are
Hmm.
around a whole bunch of gold for a long time, you get this dragon illness where you want to just hoard gold, um,
Mm.
because of magic or whatever. But
Do
yeah.
you think that part of this is sort of like an allusion to like an old thing where like coins were made out of lead, but like gold plated or silver plated? And so folks were just getting like lead poisoning and going crazy whenever they had a lot of money.
No, I just think this is bad writing.
I would like to think it's an allusion to lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Where'd you go, Jared?
Yeah, I think this is bad writing, and you think it's an allusion to lead poison. It's just like you in your fantasy world trying to make this a good movie, and it's not.
Mm.
It's not a good trilogy.
I don't
But
have to make it a good movie. I don't have to make it a good movie. The nearly $1 billion it made in the box office says it's a good movie.
if this came out today, it wouldn't have made 25 cents.
Oh no, if it came out today, it would have made twice as much.
No, if it came out today, because nobody's going to the movies anymore, but you and your movie pass.
It would
So if
have
this came out today, it would
yo,
have made
yo, yo,
25
don't hate on my
cents.
movie pass.
I'm not
Matter of fact,
hating.
Jared, we need to write a letter to Movie Pass and say that hey, we mention your joint on our podcast all the time,
I
and
do.
that we need a deal. Just give us free movie passes, and we gonna review movies and tell folks to go see Movie Pass.
Yeah,
I
I
think we should
definitely
write.
did, but I'll write them again. You're right.
Oh, you already wrote them?
Yeah, when the podcast started and when I saw that you're gonna mention
Okay, but
Movie
we
Pass,
wasn't
I'm like,
doing no movie reviews then. Like now we're talking about movies. We're talking about movies more. And if they give us a deal, we'll do movie spotlights. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Let's something we can talk about also. But yeah, this is where we start to see the battle of the battle of the five armies take shape. Because while the dwarves are holed up in the castle, they hit up they find out that the orc army is coming, and he says like, hey, and Thorin sends a letter to like one of his cousins or something that's like, hey, I'm gonna need some help to holding this holding this castle and reclaiming it, because now that we back here, everybody want to take it from us. Everybody's looking to get a piece. And this kind of pisses me off too, because along the way, Thorin is promising everybody pieces of this treasure. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, everybody in the party, we getting, we splitting this thing 13 ways. You
It was
getting one
14.
13th of, huh?
It was 14. I do
14,
remember that
whatever.
part.
You don't remember what it was called, but you remember how many people was in it. Anyway,
Yeah.
you getting like a 1/14th of this treasure. It's like, and then he's as they're going around, it's like, oh, if you do this for us, we'll give you, another piece. If you do this, well, we'll give you a piece. And it's like, it ain't gonna be no treasure left by the time you reclaim this thing. Um, but there's a matter of fact, Jared, can you name the five armies that
No, I'm about to ask you. I know it was Oakenshield. Oakenshield.
it's a dwarven army.
Hold on, let me try.
Okay.
Oakenshield and Oakenshield's cousin. So that's two. The elves is three. The orcs
Wait,
was four.
Oakenshield doesn't have an army. He just has his little band of merry men.
Oh, so they're
They're
not.
not considered an army, no.
Oh, okay.
So you got the dwarven army, you got the elves, that's two.
The orcs, the eagles, and the humans.
Eagles.
Yeah.
So I think the Alfred Lickspittle, whoever is the master of the town. No, because Alfred's a coward. It's somebody else that's like that. I think, or he is still the master of the town, and he's a coward. But um he tells the human army, oh, because he promised Bard a piece of the treasure, and so somehow a human army gets banded together. And I think it's just like the people from Lake Town, they just get some weapons and they like, okay, we are army now.
Yeah, even the woman had the shield up. They're
Yeah,
like,
that I would have been like, nah, bro, like whatever they can figure that out on their own. So it's a human army, an elven army, a dwarven army. I think it's two different dwarven
that's
armies.
what I just said. Oakenshield's army and his cousin.
Neither of them are Oakenshield's army. I think they're both like
No, I think one
somebody
was
else.
Oakenshield's army.
And there's the orc army that shows up. And the orc has like these like sandworm type deals, or these giant worms that are like digging tunnels for their army to show up. I'm
Who
looking it
were
up.
the five? I'm about to
All
find
right.
out who were the five armies.
Oh, it was the Eagles. The Eagles was an army. You
Yes,
were
the dwarves of Bar led by Oakenshield, the male Lake Town led by the Bard, the Bowman, the elves
mm-hmm.
of Mirkwood by Thranduil, the goblins and wards led by Azog, and the eagles led by Growl here.
Who are the Eagles led by?
Gwaihir, Gwaihir.
Mm. Is that the shape changer man?
Please
What are
don't
you
ask me no questions.
referring
Do not ask me no questions because I do not know. You better ask
And
into Chat
so
GPT.
I think it's real crazy that this battle of five armies happens all over this gold that is originally supposed to be the dwarfs' gold. Like, and they go on this whole quest to like save their own, to like reclaim their own village. And along the way, nobody wants to help them. Because you remember earlier in the first movie or in the second movie, they stopped by the elves. It's like, hey, elves, we need help. They
Yeah, that was
they
the
go
prologue.
to I think they go to the mines of Moria, and
So that was the
like all the
prologue.
dwarves there are dead or something.
So the the elves saw the dragon killing them, and then they turned away. So like they
Mm.
turned away, and then Okashil's daddy died, and he even
Oh,
cried.
that's like the old story. That's like the old story. The elves
Yeah,
turned their back. But now, and I'm talking about along like the travel, the journey that the company of Thorn and Oakenshield takes. They do end up meeting the elves again, and they ask for help, and the elves say no. And that's when they get captured by the elves, and then I think Philly falls in love with one of the elf girl. Um, so they say no. He goes to the humans and asks for help. So they say no. Um, and I think they visit some dwarves at one point too, and the dwarves also say no, we're not going to help you.
Hmm.
But once they defeat the dragon and they get the gold back, suddenly everybody's like, "Well, you came to us for help and you promised us a peace."
I mean, they
And I
needed the
think that's pretty
help.
fucked up. I think that might be the second theme of this movie is like once you like everybody like when you make it, everybody gonna have their hand out and they're gonna expect
No,
something from you.
no, that's not the prevailing theme. The prevailing theme is people going inside of houses uninvited. And I think that even though they said no to defeat a dragon, they said no. But to defeat some orcs, I mean, they down for that. They're like, all right, we're here. You still need some help to defeat these orcs? So we're here.
Mm.
No, I don't think that's the same. I think that a dragon is different, but some orcs, like people be killing orcs every day. Or orcs gotta die. Even though those were the only black actors, the orcs. And then why they gotta be in
Are
black?
they?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the end, the dwarves, humans, and elves win against the goblins and orcs, and I guess the eagles are also a part of this somewhere.
You didn't see the Eagles?
And huh?
I mean, the Eagles were definitely there. I mean, they came in late.
Yeah, but I think let me see. Yeah, dwarves, elves, and humans. They and the eagles, I guess, they also win because um they defeat Azog, the Defiler. They defeat the Goblin and Ward in the Orc army.
Mhm.
Um, but that's not before Thorn gets killed.
Yeah.
Keely gets killed. Keely's the one that falls in love with Tariel. Who else? Yeah, and that's it. I think those two are the ones that those two are the big deaths that
And,
happen
and
in
and
this.
that's not a lot of deaths for them to
It's
defeat a
not. It's
dragon
not.
and defeat the orcs. Like more people deserve to die.
Well, a lot more people died because it was a war. It was, but a
Yeah.
lot they were insignificant. They were not named.
Well,
Um,
a lot of those named people deserve to die. Like Bilbo, he
Thorin
deserved to
Thorin
die.
dies and is buried with the Arkenstone. So and Dane is crowned king under the mountain. I think that's Thorin's like cousin or something who he called that actually had the army. Um mm, 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 mm.
Gandalf deserved to die because he didn't do nothing. Bilbo deserved to die because he was lying to that dragon. Like everybody deserved to die. The only person that I don't think deserved to die was those elves. Everybody else, death, death.
Yeah. And so in this all in the end of the Hobbit leads us into or sets up all of the events for the Lord of the Rings series because this Sauron is revived. The ring has been found, and now Sauron is going to like exhaust, like as he rebuilds his power, he's going to be exhausting his resources trying to find this ring. And Bilbo has the ring. At the end of the movie, Gandalf is telling Bilbo, "It's like, hey, bro, I know you got this ring. I've known the whole time. And I'm telling you it's dangerous and you shouldn't have it." And Bilbo's like, "What are you talking about? I had that ring, but I lost it."
Again, lying. Again, lying. And those lies are what's gonna put Frodo in danger. In danger. So this liar is like ruining the whole world. Like he could have just gave the ring to Gandalf, and Gandalf could have probably projected it into space or protected it somehow. But no, he's lying to the one person who can help the world because he wanted to keep that ring. It's precious. So yeah, of course. That's why he deserved to die in the movie
Mm,
and the
mm.
book. He just deserved to die.
I don't I don't think he deserves to die. He's just a
No,
hobby. He was never supposed to be on this journey in the first place. And Gandalf twisted his arm, basically forced that man.
that's true. That's
But,
true.
yeah, but
Saying some
end of this
he's
movie,
small and he can slip into places that no one else can slip into.
and maybe that's true. Maybe all
But
that
dwarves
shit.
and hobbits are the same size.
But
What are
dwarves
you
are heavy
talking
as shit
about?
though. You know dwarves are heavy as shit, whereas hobbits are like light. And
Okay.
I think if Bilbo had been a trained burglar, like this is what he does for a living, it would have been completely different.
But he was just a homemaker.
He's just like, right. He's like, all I do is like I grow my food and I make cheese
Yeah, he was just a homemaker. So
and I smoke a little weed here and there. That's all he did.
yeah, so final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
My final thoughts have been said throughout the whole goddamn conversation. This is a dumb movie. The theme of
Mm.
this movie, breaking into somebody's house when you're not invited or there is no call, has been shown throughout the three movies, and that was dumb as well. This is a whole bunch of white nonsense. I'm sorry, this is a whole bunch of white nonsense.
I
If this movie
I
was
enjoyed.
in no, it's my final thought. So give me some time. This is a whole bunch of white nonsense. If this movie was in 2024 with those trailers, it would not have been as successful. And if people only liked this movie because it was white nonsense, it was white fantastic nonsense. That's why it had what, $1 billion or so dollars? No, white nonsense. This whole movie is dumb. The themes are dumb. The people are dumb. People should have been more cautious and they shouldn't have been looking to laugh the whole time because everything was a joke to them and they didn't take nothing seriously, especially dealing with these orcs who should have killed these people, but they're as dumb as stormtroopers. So yes, this whole thing is dumb. They did that dragon horribly wrong. They did him wrong. If they would have shown a little bit of reverence to that dragon instead of going there and lying, like this whole movie was dumb. I didn't pay attention to it, but what I did pay attention to emphasized that the movie was dumb. 0 stars. I do not recommend unless you want to be aggravated. Dumb movie, dumb premise, dumb everything. Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Okay. Okay.
What's your final
Um,
thoughts?
I don't. The Hobbit. Um, I think The Hobbit is a good story. The Lord of the Rings is a good story, and I've known people who really enjoy The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, even if they're not geeks. Like some friends I met, just hanging out with them, and we'll be talking about, oh, I love The Hobbit. I'm like, really? I'm like, you don't even like cartoons like that, or not to say that one is equal to another, but one leans heavy in the other's way. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like board games, you don't like nothing fantasy. All you do is watch reality TV for real, but you like The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Okay, okay, I guess.
Please tell me what was fantasy about this. It being set in Middle Earth, England. Like there was nothing like there was a dragon and they were talking spiders and orcs, but what magic was there? The light cantrip.
So there's not enough magic for you. That I understand that. Heard, Jared. Heard.
And Gandalf supposed
Okay.
to be this ultra powerful wizard. Like, of what? All he could do was the light cantrip and talk to moths. Like, I'm just over this movie. I'm sorry.
Well, to altogether, these movies made about $3 billion worldwide. So that number tells you that they ain't nothing to shake a stick at. You cannot like them all day and night, but enough people, $3 billion worth of people do,
I mean, that's
and that's the box
also,
office.
I'm sure that in that movie is the the movie that they got from franchise sales like t-shirts, the DVDs of that movie. I know they sold a
No, no,
lot.
that's all box office.
Oh, okay. Still a horrible movie. People that like this movie are dumb. They're really dumb.
Okay. Well,
And you like it, right?
I do like it, and I'm not dumb.
But you
I
haven't
don't
seen it in
believe you.
years.
I haven't seen it in a while. You're right. I've been
Okay.
slipping on my rewatches, and
You
I'm gonna
need
get
to
on.
rewatch this. I will give you that you need to rewatch this before you say that this movie is not dumb, that this movie is not stupid. I know that you will not be able to make it through it because you can't even make it through 3 pages of a comic book before you turn it down. You will not be able to make it through this movie. I guarantee you
Well,
that.
even with this 2.93 billion, the Hobbit doesn't make it into the top 20 highest grossing movie franchises of all time. But
Okay.
there's a lot of variables there. Like um the Marvel Cinematic Universe counts all its movies, so that's like what 30 movies at this point or something like that.
Okay.
The Wizarding World has like at least 8 or 9, somewhere
Okay.
between 8 and 11 movies.
Like you're telling me all these stats. I'm just saying go watch the movie. Cause all these stats, that don't
Okay.
mean anything to me. Go watch the movie.
Okay. So you want to do one more quick break and then just go to the questions?
Sure. Sure.
All right.
Anything to get off the hobbits. Okay, you guys, we are back with Black Geek Energy. We are finally off the Hobbit. Oh my God, I'm so happy because Spider movies were horrible. And we are about to do your questions. You can always email your questions to blackgeekenergy@gmail.com, or you can send it to us on social media. On Instagram and TikTok, we are Black Geek Energy. On Twitter, we are BGE underscore pod. And today we got some questions for you, DeMarcus. My first question is, let me get it. Okay. DeMarcus, what are some of your thoughts on the portrayal of mental health issues in geek media and how can it be improved, if it should be improved at all?
Mhm. I will say that I enjoy that a lot of times when you see mental health things portrayed in geek media or geek culture, it's not so much like, oh, this person has a thing that prevents them from being like everybody else or mingling with other people. A lot of times it's just like, oh, this person thinks differently, and it helps them in this way, and it makes them better at doing this thing. Like a lot of times the mental health things are portrayed like someone's autistic, but like they can do math so well that they create a successful life, or someone is missing an arm, but they have a glowing spirit energy arm instead. Um, we're talking about mental health specifically. Like someone hears voices, but the voices like help them like accomplish their goals. Like I appreciate that they try to make it so that they make it so that like these people with mental health disabilities or people who are differently abled mentally, they are special in a different kind of way that most people aren't. But what I do not appreciate is that there's always this spin of like, oh, it's mild, or it is done in such a way that it is a benefit, that it can be seen as a benefit instead of a burden. Where I think a lot more people who in the real world who live with some sort of mental, who live with like some sort of mental disability, they don't, maybe they see it that way, but maybe they don't. Maybe maybe it is a challenge for them every day. And I think that's the more realistic approach. And I think that it should be, while the same as like there are superheroes who like, oh, this person is a cut above. This should also be like regular people where it's like, yo, this person struggles to get out of bed in the morning just like you do. It could be more holistic, is what I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm struggling to think of a superhero um that has mental issues. I know that the new Green Lantern, um, Jessica Cruz, has
Mm-hmm.
anxiety disorder. She didn't like going outside. but this has basically been erased in the late um stages of the comic. In the current
Hmm.
comic, she's now um, you know, being a
Hmm.
spy for the Green Lanterns. I struggle to think of any superheroes that have mental issues besides Batman. And you know how I feel about
I
Bruce.
was about to say, what about Batman?
You know how he
But
is he a hero?
Rubber Band Man has dyslexia. I don't know if that counts, but
Oh, I mean, there's a mental issue. So, I mean,
hmm,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But the most
yeah.
mental issues that I know of in comic books, at least, are with super villains. So the Joker has a big one. The um, Apocalypse has another one.
What does
Doomsday,
Apocalypse have?
he has that thing where he doesn't um, feel remorse for the type of hurt he brains. I think it's on like psychosis
Oh,
or some,
he's a psychopath.
yeah, psychopath. And so is Mr. Sinister. Um, but I am struggling to think of any superhero. So the portrayal in Greek geek media so far, with me just not reading this question, is it needs to be portrayed like as an ongoing struggle between somebody who is actually good, um and not as something with with someone like a villain, just trying to that helps them propel the story forward. um
Hmm.
I would like to see them overcome or deal with or um live with their mental issues, um, and still do good instead of them doing bad. Now, all the villains I just named, I love all those villains, but I would like to see the flip side of them having mental issues as well. So yeah,
Hmm. Hmm. Like I was saying, it could be more holistic because whenever I think like whenever we usually see it, it's like, oh, this is just like all a good thing.
yeah,
Or it's once it's turned into a good thing, it remains only a good thing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see. Deadpool has a mental issue.
Yeah, he has schizophrenia. Yeah.
Yeah, they say that Daredevil has depression. Legion has, of course, DID, dissociative identity disorder.
Hmm.
Storm famously has claustrophobia. Hank
Mm.
has bipolar disorder. The Sentry has schizophrenia.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Scarlet Witch had a psychotic break. Jessica Jones, of course, had PTSD. Moon Knight also had DID as well. So,
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
there are some, but other than claustrophobia, with Storm, a lot of those quote unquote heroes aren't heroes all the time. Like Hank Pym is currently Ultron. So it still goes back to
When you said Hank, I thought you were talking about Beast. I thought you were talking about Hank
no,
McCoy.
no, no. And he is suffering from a mental illness right now in the comic books as well. But but yeah, I would just like to see them a little bit more as struggling with it and still doing good. So
Hmm.
yeah. All right, so let's just do one more,
All right.
because we are definitely running out of time. But we did 3 movies, so I guess that
Hmm.
you know.
And I meant to do it faster. That's all. That's how it goes sometimes. But
No, I
here we
had
are.
a lot of hate in my heart.
You did. You had a lot of vitriol to spew, and I
A
really
lot,
hope you feel better.
a lot. All right, so like every week we do one question from Six Brown Chicks, and here's the question for this week. Are you ready? DeMarcus,
Hmm.
my girl is pregnant and she doesn't want sex. Her messy best friend let me hit, and now she's pregnant too. I told her bestie what it was between us. Nothing serious. I warned her that I wasn't sticking around for a baby I didn't agree for her to have, but she keeps pushing me for more. Bestie's latest stunt was to have my girl throw her a baby shower in our house. Bestie joked that she'll reveal her child's father if he doesn't leave his bitch. I'm worried. My girl doesn't deserve to be hurt by her so-called bestie like this. Bestie, Bestie and I still sleep together regularly because I want her to think that I'm breaking up with my girl soon. But I do not want to be around when Bestie tells everything. I want to move out of the state and leave them both behind to have my kids and figure things out. But I also want to be in my child's life, but not involved with Bestie's bastard. What to do?
All right. I just want to make sure I have the story straight as per usual. This guy and his girlfriend,
Yeah.
this guy's girlfriend is having a baby. They are pregnant together because he wants to be involved in the pregnancy and the baby's life. But while old girl is pregnant, she's like, I'm not comfortable giving up the coochie no more. I feel weird about it, or whatever she says.
Mhm.
They're not having sex. He
Mhm.
then goes and sleeps with her best friend and gets her pregnant. And the best friend is now like, yeah, you finna raise my baby. You finna leave your girl and raise my baby with me, or I'm blowing everything up.
Yeah.
And she keep doing like shady stuff, like having. I don't think that's well. It is shady because she knows that's her. Because she knows the best friend knows that's her homegirl man, baby. Um, so she just keep doing shady stuff, trying to stir the pot. I think this is all old boy's fault, and he just needs to come clean. You should have clean. You should have came clean from the very start and been like, you should have never cheated. You should have never, or if you was gonna cheat, at least use a condom. Like folks be cheating dumb. Cheat smart, bro. Um, like why wouldn't you use a condom? Like you already know you fertile. You got one girl pregnant. Why even risk two?
Yeah.
So now both of you now they finna have hood twins because them babies finna be born around the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
And don't forget that he's still having sex with the bestie.
oh, I was getting to that part. He's
Okay.
still having sex with her because he want to keep shit calm. Like that's the only like after so many wrong moves, that's the only move I understand.
Really?
That's the only move I understand because it's like, yo, I'm trying to figure this out. I need to keep stuff copacetic until I got a plan. So I gotta keep showing up for both of these women.
Okay.
That's the only move I understand. Like that I get because it's like I'm in such deep shit. I need to keep this train rolling. But yeah, he what is his question? How does he do what?
His question is, um, I want to be okay. Okay, I want to move out of state and leave them both behind to have my kids and figure things out. But I also want to be in my child's life, but not involved with Bestie's bastard. What to do?
Oh, so he just wants to like throw this all away. I just want to start a new character. I've already messed up this game file. I want to start a new character, and that's an option. You can just it's not it's horrible for the women involved, but it's equally horrible to them both, I guess. But I don't know, the girlfriend don't deserve none of this. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I think the altruistic move is to come clean with both women or with your girlfriend because the bestie already in the know. Come clean, maybe, and then just deal with it. Like it's gonna be a few years of bullshit from both of these women. It's gonna be hell. Like you probably gonna be on child support for both of them. But maybe it'll force you to clean up your act. So I say, come clean, deal with the consequences, raise both your children. Or get out of there, move away, but don't be like, oh, I still want to be involved in the child's lives. No, like if you leave, leave completely. Sign away your rights as a parent. They make it to the NBA or the NFL one day, you don't get no parts of that coin. Leave and never talk to either of these women again so that they can pick up, so they have the opportunity to heal, pick up the pieces of their lives and move on.
So my biggest concern with this whole scandal is you calling your unborn child a bastard. Like, why would you do that? You are not
That is
a,
technically true.
it's not true because he does have a father. The father is writing this letter right now.
It's not you're a bastard because your parents aren't married, not because you don't not just because you don't have a father.
So when I think of bastards, I think of a king not wanting his children to be his heir because they weren't sired by the queen. That's what I think a bastard is. So you aren't a king, young sir. You are just a regular peasant like the rest of us. So I think that calling your child a bastard, either true or untrue, in any world, that's an insult. And no child deserves that insult, especially one still in your pregnant. I mean, she's not your girlfriend, but you are still having sex with her.
I, so I looked this up. Both kids are bastards. Bastardy, as a legal term, designates the civil condition of a child born under illegitimate circumstances. Under English common law, which is the law we live under, children born out of lawful wedlock were classed as bastards. In the eyes of the law, they had no parents, no kindred, and no ancestors. So in the eyes of the law, you're just a person that appeared on this planet through no actions of any person already existing on the planet.
Yeah. So obviously
That's
that,
horrible.
yeah, yeah, obviously that has to be reworked because we both know that this child has parents and a lineage. So,
Yeah, but there's no lawful wedlock because this is a girlfriend and a side piece.
I mean, there's no lawful wedlock in a lot like Laurentis kids. They're not lawfully wedlock. Are they bastards? No. So
Yes,
you are not going to
I was
call
born.
Laurentis children
I was
bastards.
I was born before my parents got married. I'm a bastard.
All right. Well, bastards unite, I guess. But um
I was gonna
but
say put the bees up, but that's already claimed.
but I don't think that it's right to call your unborn child a bastard. That's an insult. Whether it's English common law, American law, whatever, it's the insult. So you're already insulting this child like like it's nothing. So I think that that's problem number one. Problem number two, why are you still having sex with this other woman when you know that you don't want anything with her? Like it would be different if you said, hey, let's all be sister wives together or introduce that, but you don't want to do that because you're a horrible man. So I don't know why you're sitting here trying to convince us that you are the victim when you're not. These two young ladies are the victim. Your girlfriend is a victim because you're having sex with this other person, um, who who is who you don't want. And the other person is a victim because you won't just tell your girlfriend what happened and let her deal with this. The only thing I can say right now is that telling your girlfriend or adding this extra stress on your girlfriend or this other woman right now may hurt the baby. But as far as um uh like sex can't be all that great. You have to know to be celibate, you have to jack off one day in your life because sex can't
You
be
gotta
that
have
great.
dick discipline.
Huh?
That's
Yeah,
how the old
you have to have dick discipline, and
that's
you
how the
don't
old
have it. So you obviously aren't at the maturity level to have any children. So you really need to start doing something else. Maybe you should have a vasectomy because you don't deserve children when you're calling them names like this on the internet for everybody to see.
Oh, I didn't realize we were still stuck on that.
Yeah. Anyways, those are our thoughts. But yeah, this is the end of another episode of Black Geek Energy, a pretty long one. Golly.
It's
But
Lord of the Rings, man.
yeah,
It's a lot of depth.
yeah. But you can always contact us at blackgeekenergy@gmail.com, on Instagram and TikTok at Black Geek Energy, on our Twitter at BGE_pod. And you can subscribe to our YouTube. To search Black Geek Energy in the search bar and you will find us. Make sure that you leave a comment on this episode on YouTube and Spotify. If you listen on those, let us know how you liked it, or leave a comment on iTunes for our whole entire podcast, so you can let us know you liked it or hate it, and you can let everybody else know how you feel about this podcast. DeMarcus, any final words?
I think you should do the final words this time, since this has been sort of a reverse episode where I am leading the charge with all the knowledge and stuff, and you are just telling us how you feel. Yeah, I think you should get the final word, Jared. What is your final word for this episode? What do you want to leave the people with?
Um, so we talked about a lot of stuff today, mostly about The Hobbit. And I think that everybody knows my opinion about The Hobbit. 0 stars, should not be seen by anyone, because it's just white nonsense to me. And I just want to say that along with The Hobbit, with The Lord of the Rings, with all of these fantasy movies that are not even fantasy besides dragons, let's go ahead and think more. Like, what happened to our Chinese Lord of the Rings, where they have the long serpent dragons and they're doing that amazing dance fighting, or African Lord of the Rings, where we are talking about the trickster gods, or Brazilian Lord of the Rings, where we are in Aztec mythology. Why can't we do something like that, America? Why do we have to keep giving all our money to these white mediocre films that are really, really, really bad, have poor writing, that have had poor writing since 1930s? No, we need to do better than that. We need to have, and that's why diversity is important. Okay. We need to do better than Lord of the Rings. We need to do much better than The Hobbit. We need to step outside of our boxes, and we need to look into our African, our Chinese, our Brazilian, um our original Americans, and our Albanese Australians when we are doing these next fantasy movies. And that's my final thoughts. Because this movie could have been so much better. There was a Black person in that writing room.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And that's that's the end of another episode. Thank y'all for listening. We'll see you next time. BGE out.
All right, let me stop it.
What's happening, my fellow geeks out there? It's a new year. Welcome to 2024. New me, or the same you. However you want to play it this year. I am here to tell y'all that I am in a much better space mentally, and a lot of that is due to getting, I'm not going to say the help I need, but having someone to talk to objectively, like that third party who's just there to give you advice and not really trying to put their own judgment on you, and also like kind of helping you, think through some of your thoughts. Maybe you're an external processor, maybe not. Um, but you can do all of these things with BetterHelp.com. So you can be in the same place I am. You can be in a better place than I am. You can improve the way you think and the way you approach situations just by having someone to talk to about it that you know is not there to judge you, that you know is available at the send of a text, that you know you can switch them out as if it's not working. If they're not giving you the advice you need, you can just say, hey, better help, give me someone else, and they'll find you someone else to partner with. Tell you it's an amazing service. And if you tell them we sent you, you're gonna get a discount. Because why would we tell you to go if we're not gonna hook you up? So go to betterhelp.com/BGEpod and tell them DeMarcus sent you.
Okay.
Okie dokie. All right. Feeling good about this.
You ready?
Yeah. I don't want to do a super long episode about the Hobbit movie
Me
series.
neither.
Okay, great. So let's do a two-topic one. We'll do an overview, and then we'll talk about the first movie, and then we'll do an activity, talk about the second two movies, and we'll call it a day.
Okay.
Sounds good?
Yes.
All right. So cold open, 15 minutes. Let's get into it. Jared. Well, 5, 4, 3, 2,